Hello, I'm Thomas and I play bass.
Simon, guitar.
I sing. My name is Christian.
What's up? I'm Marcus and this is Blindside and you're watching and listening to Artisan News Service.
I think maybe the biggest obstacle was just we didn't have that much time, and we're actually when we wrote for the record we were like we had a month off actually, so we were writing by ourselves and recording riffs on the answering machines, doing things over the phone. Well, I think that's the only obstacle, and otherwise I think we were really inspired to do the record, so it went pretty smoothly.
I was just gonna say, I think the other guys might have been the biggest obstacle. I was pretty much writing everything, and they were kind of slowing the process down a little bit. So, yeah.
That has happened indeed, and that's a problem. Yeah, that's why we do it, because we don't have that
capture
much.
the riff.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But and you maybe don't have like a recording tool or whatever at home, so you'll call up and say like, hey, got a riff here. Save it.
Yeah, Simon got his, what do you call it, like a recorder, like the tape thing?
Dictaphone.
Dictaphone,
That's
yeah.
what we call it in Sweden. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know what you call it here, but he got that now, so he comes to us whenever we meet and he plays up his riffs, and it's like, it sounds really weird. We actually used it to make a track for MTV.com. We recorded a song, like the riff on the his recorder, and then mic'd it, and then went straight into Pro Tools to make like, and shaked it like.
You shouldn't tell the secrets.
Yeah, that's pretty independent almost. It's rock and roll. No. Yeah. Yep.
Well, I think the last we've been touring for we toured the last record for years. So if we learned anything, it was to play our instruments a little better, and I think that came in handy when we were going to record. So that's a good thing, But otherwise, the experience of playing live, I mean, that's something that you always bring into the studio, and like the inspiration of. I think you always when we've been working so hard live. I think it's something that you always have in mind that like how's this going to sound live and stuff like that. So yeah, I think well, I think hopefully you want to think that the newest record is the best one, and it feels still that we're developing and moving into something new every time. So I would definitely tell people that at this point, but you never know what their next record is gonna be.
Yeah, exactly. But it's also like every record has been different from each other, so it's kind of hard to say like if you want to start listening to Blindside, you should start with this one because everyone is so different. So
What I'm really hoping for the guy to say in the record store would be, I don't know, I celebrate the whole entire catalog.
Yeah.
Provided they're still in stocks.
Yeah.
When Christian sings, I remember every word you say. It's just beautiful. That's what he's supposed to say.
You mean the title?
Yes.
Well, Christian, you have a little story about that, don't you?
A long or short?
long version or short? I don't know.
Medium.
I don't know. I think it's basically about passion. The title is "The Fire" is so a symbol like passion, so that's what we're about in a way. and I don't know. Yeah, that's basically it. And I think we want to like inspire people, just to, you know, if we can help someone to get up in the morning, Monday morning, gray skies, you know, that's cool, you know. I think you have to just. I think what you have on the inside will come out, you know, one way or the other. And we're definitely not like a destructive band. We try to just inspire people, but I think you also have to be real, you know, for that to work. So we try to, you know, just talk about real stuff. So.
We went to the States first time in '98, and you know, we met them then. Our first tour, we hung out at this festival, and you know, we became friends, and they wanted to help us out, bring us on tour, and they did before they were signed, you know. So it's cool. We've been, you know, helping each other out, and you know, of course they're a lot bigger than us, and that's, you know, they've been able to do great things for us, and you know, which is awesome because they're great friends, and you know, we're going out on a tour with them, so we always enjoy their company. So it's cool.
I think a lot of times when you have a band like helping out a smaller band, it's usually just business kind of thing. But in this case, it feels really like a genuine friendship, because like both of us met when we weren't signed to a major label, and you know, clicked as human beings first off. So. And just kept going, and they've been becoming a lot bigger than us in so far, and just helping us out. So it's been a good thing.
What's been the
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That was a good moment.
The cake
No,
fight.
it's the tour ending, and it's always a lot of pranks and stuff. And we had a giant cake fight once.
Yeah, well,
It was kind of sad because I was just about to take my share of the cake, and Marcus took Marcus took the whole piece, like the whole cake, and run away with it and threw it at our manager, I think it was.
yeah.
So things like that do happen, but
Yeah.
which is good and bad. But I think the worst time for us was probably 2001. We were on tour, and they were breaking big with the live, and we actually managed to get on that tour even though we weren't signed at the time, and we hadn't released a record in a long time. So it was cool, and we were driving after their tour bus in a van, you know, and they had, you know, like 10-hour drives, 15-hour drives, and we just had to haul after there, and the van broke down, you know, and we got into blisters and, you know, big storms and everything. So it's the, you know, that's the kind of challenging part of it, but you know, once you get on stage, it's always, you know, fun. So
Yeah, I think that tour also was like the best, you know, because that made us, you know, we got attention from bigger record labels, and that, you know, basically that tour got us signed. So it had two sides.
yeah, it was worth the effort.
Yeah. But it was a tough one, though. We had to sleep on, you know, we rented one hotel room, and we were sleeping, like, how many people were there? 8 people in one hotel room, sleeping on floors, and like the van broke down all the time. Like the back window just shattered one time because it was so cold.
And then right after, the wheel broke.
Yeah, right after that, a wheel broke, and I had some flu or something. I just had to puke all the time. So while they were changing the tire, I was standing there freezing my butt off, like puking, and no one knew about it, like until like
He told us afterwards, like, I was out puking there. It's like, really?
Really?
Nobody cared because it was so cold, and you know, our
no
roadies,
one knew that I was sick. Like everyone was just like
our
kept going.
roadies from Florida had to fix the van, and you
Yeah.
know, they weren't used to the cold.
We usually
Actually,
call-
Thomas had to drive all the way because, you know, they're from Florida. They can't drive a car properly in snow. I mean, we're from Sweden, so so Thomas had to drive all through, you know, like from Minneapolis to Seattle in the storms. And
I think we counted to like 18 or 20 cars or in semis on the side of the road.
yeah,
So we're like
on one night.
in one night, yeah.
You always hope so,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, like, you never know, because in this, you know, industry right now, everything's like, if you disappear for half a year, you might be gone. Nobody cares about you. But I think we've been building, you know, our fan base here since that first tour in '98, '97, when the first record came out. So, you know, we've been working hard to you know, get the people to support us, and I think ultimately on the last record we did, you know, increase that following a lot, you know, as you could see from the first week record sales. I mean, a top 40 debut for a Swedish band, it's huge. I mean,
What was
it's
the last band who did that?
Ace of Base. I saw the sign.
Well, the thing is, like, we've been working, as he said, like more over here. Like we actually toured more over here than in Sweden and stuff. So it's kind of weird. We made it over to '98. So I think most people don't really know about us in Sweden. It's starting to grow though, but usually what happens is that you get big in your own country and then you kind of get, you know, launched here. But for us, it was the opposite way. We kind of like made it over here and then slowly started building in our own country, which is weird, you know.
Well, we're gonna work hard. I mean, after that, we're gonna keep going for a little bit and go home for a short break in the summertime, and then come back and do our own headlining tour, you know, and hopefully do like a world tour and go out and play the rest of the world as well. That's the plan, and you know, we'll see how that goes. But we're preparing to you know, tour for a long time, because that's how we work. I mean, you can't. I mean, a lot of people, they just, you know, hope for good radio and you know, that the label's gonna do this and that, and we just know that from being on the road for a long time, and you know, that's what pays off, and you get the, you know, real following that way. So.
It doesn't really affect us. I think we still operate the same way. The only thing that affects us is that, you know, we made friends with a lot of people that had to go, and that's kind of sad. But you know, we're gonna keep going. We do our thing as usual.
It's definitely changing the industry. Like, it's going through all these technical regime shift or whatever, but it's not only negative. I think, like, a lot of places it's hard to get hold of albums, and I mean, we had a guy coming out from Israel to a show in the States, and he knew all the songs. He downloaded them, and he was like, basically, you can't get hold of the album. And so it's kind of fun. I'm really looking forward trying to make a world tour and visit a bunch of places we never released albums in, but because of downloading, we know that people know about us. But at the same time, since sales are going down, it's damaging everything for the artists and the record labels, and but we'll get out of it, I think, in a good way somehow.
If music was supposed to be free, we would have to put commercials in every song.
Right.
I think the music business sooner or later gonna find out a way to make money out of even downloads. So I mean, in a way, I'm not worried, but it's a problem that that needs to be addressed, and not be ignoring the fact that people are gonna still continue downloading music, not trying to make them change their mind. So we'll see what happens.
They definitely were one of the bands in the early 90s that were around when we started playing music.
Definitely. I mean, he was a great singer. It's a great. I don't know. He was. There was such a huge influence on the music business. It's almost hard to comprehend now, like how huge it was. But it's just sad that it happened the way it did. Could have been a great rock band still.
Yeah. Yeah, they were definitely one of the greatest bands, and I think it's funny because our band actually, we formed the band in '94, same year, so we're celebrating 10 years as well, and I think that was definitely one of the bands that we were listening to back then. Just that kind of, that whole wave of great genuine bands came up around that time, and made it very easy to start a band. I mean, it was easy to get influenced by other bands and just inspired to play music, so it's cool.
But it was also kind of like, for me, I like the heavy music, but I could never get into like the whole, headbangers, attitude. This was kind of like metal with a punk attitude, so it just fit me right away. And I think that's the same thing with everyone. Like a lot of people had just been longing for a band like that. So when it came out, it was like, yes, finally.
As far as the progression of the album, you have this single that's out right now, and then after that, I mean, do you have different ones marked out for different times at all?
Not really. We we'll see how it goes. I think for us as a band, it's really important to see how the songs go over live, and see what what works well for the audience, and then we'll have to take a decision. But it's not like we have we write down every singles on the record. I think we don't record a record like that. We don't go like, okay, we got to play this song because this might be a single. We should do this and this with a song so it could be played on radio. I think we play by heart, and whatever comes out, and then it's up to the radio departments and everything to see come with suggestions for what song would work for radio. So
yeah, I think it's really hard when you're so close to the music to try to decide yourself what is a single. I think a lot of times we're not the best people to evaluate that or judge that.
All of us came along really quick in the studio or in the rehearsal without Christian. We just played the verse part over and over, and then all of a sudden the chorus kicked in and we just played it, and then we played the whole song through. After we played the chorus and we had the song, and we played it a bunch of times, recorded it, and then like, okay, we're gonna do the song. And
yeah, I was kind of mad because sometimes you get that in the rehearsal space when you're writing a song. Like sometimes you have to work and for it to something to happen, and sometimes something just like a magic just happened in the rehearsal space, and everyone just feels it, and you play the song straight through almost, and I missed it. I mean, like I was at the hotel writing lyrics, and they came back and like, hey, we wrote this song, you gotta check it out, and I'm like, oh damn it, missed it. I don't know. I just listened to it and tried to get into that, and it took a long time too for it to, just get the right feel for it. And but I kind of knew right away that it was gonna end up on the record. I don't know. Usually, I try to not to talk about lyrics actually, because first off, I'm really bad at describing the lyrics, and when I sit like this and just explain them to you, it would just fall flat and not become the thing that I want. And I also think that you should actually listen to it in the context, of the music. So I usually don't. I mean, you're always growing, but I mean, like, if the band would end tomorrow, I think all of us would be just, amazed on the journey we've been doing together, and still friends, same guys, and but I think all of us, have that hunch of that there's something else coming, So, and I think we're always gonna try to be on the move until we just feel like it's the end, And I don't think we've seen the end of Blindside yet. The language barrier sometimes, when it comes to writing lyrics, it's a little weird because it works both ways. Yeah, two ways. It's like because it's not my first language. It enables me to write about even more personal stuff. Because it doesn't feel as close to me because it's in another language. But at the same time, sometimes when I'm in the studio, I would be like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like trying to explain it. It's like, "Oh, that's totally wrong," So that has happened a couple of times, but usually it just works fine. What we're trying to do is like you try to put like sometimes people think that it's just poetic mumbo jumbo, but it's really like something specific, And you try to put regular everyday words on emotional or spiritual matters, and so that's why when you try to explain like about a burning fire, it's not about like a little fire, It's about something else. And so I think when you dig a little deeper and you kind of see what we're trying to say, and that can connect on a deeper level, I think sometimes, and the songs sometimes, like we've been talking to fans, and you can see that the songs have become the soundtrack of their lives, and so when you come together, like for instance in a concert or whatever, and everyone sings the same songs, but it means like different things, and everyone has different emotion attached to it. It becomes this like great thing, and it could be just really an amazing thing live sometimes, For me, oh, okay. For another band, you mean?
For another band, yeah.
Ooh. Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Well,
I think actually,
You got the question. Come on.
Come on, Christian.
I think
Answer
it was
now.
Downset
Dun,
actually.
dun, 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 dun.
Downset, yeah. Stockholm 90 something. I never, lyrically it didn't really fit my. Even though I was a big fan of Pantera, it was never about the lyrics on that one. But
That's just the aggression, huh?
yeah.
Do you think that it's kind of I guess
We're actually going to the show tonight. Damage Plane! It's gonna be great.
I would actually say that Zayo, the first time we made it over to the States in '98, and when I saw Zayo, like a concert festival called Cornerstone, that was like one of the most amazing. When the lyrics and in the crowd and everything just like work together in a really like unique way. Yeah.
Yeah, we played it a couple times, so we thought we could play it one more time. It's I mean, like, but we've been there almost every year since '98, so you have like a special connection with the fans there. So it's very cool. It's a nice environment. So. Not really. No, we haven't. We tried to, just invest our time in this tour that we're doing now with, POD and the headlining tour in the fall, and we're gonna take a little, breather hopefully before. But I mean, we play a couple of festivals every summer, so. No, but I think wouldn't mind. I think we always would have enjoyed playing, Warped Tour or anything like that, because we met a couple of those bands and they were like, you guys should go on the Warped Tour, because just they seem to have a lot of fun together, all the bands. And I think we like those atmospheres playing, even like a radio fest or whatever, because you get to meet a lot of other bands, and it's just good to get to know people. So we enjoy that.
I think we're mostly because we're not a new band, and like a lot of those bands know that we've been around for a long time, even though we may not have surfaced, that much. We've been touring a lot since, as he said, we're celebrating a 10 years anniversary, so that has something to do with it, I think.
A lot of chickens and eggs.
Yeah,
That's what it's
bunny.
about. I don't know.
So you have an Easter.
And then we have
Easter bunny.
and we have kids dressed up as witches, and they come and knock the doors and ask for
It's
candy.
weird. It's like
Yeah, it's almost like
strange
trick or treat almost. Like they knock on the door, but not.
for candy.
Yeah, for candy, and they actually draw small like postcards and hand it over to you, and you kind of buy the postcards with candy.
Yeah.
So that's how it works, and.
Because in Sweden, it's both the Christian tradition, and it is
Pagan.
pagan. What's that?
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, that means witches and.
Pagan. Okay, yeah,
Hedningar.
yeah. Because kids do it. It's the day when they flew, to the place, where they live. And then
they flew to what we in Sweden call Blåkulla.
Yeah, it's called the Blue Hill, and they the tradition is that the witches flew there on their
Riding
brooms.
brooms, and they come and they have a meal with Satan over at the Blue Hill, and so it's a really pagan tradition. But
Exactly.
That's when Jesus comes in a chicken dress.
No, that's when Jesus
And,
died and resurrected.
Yeah.
That's what we celebrate on Easter.
I don't know what you believe in, but
But it's totally true though. But no one cares about the witches anymore. It's just like an old. They kind of like trick or treat, at Halloween. But I think for all of us, all of us here, we celebrate, Jesus, and so it's kind of like a double. We still have the pagan, but it's not. No one pays attention to the real spiritual matter about it. But
a huge one.
like define success.
Yeah.
Define success.
You do it.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's not going to be the same thing as
Yeah.
But yeah, if it is what it is to us, yeah. I mean, we're having fun and we're living on what we're doing, and
Yeah,
and we're set to do more records, and so yeah.
Yeah, we love what we do, and we are able to go out and tour for a living, and that's an amazing thing. And I think even more as a Swedish band, I mean, there's very, very few bands that can do that. They can live out of their music. So it's I mean, it's really it's an amazing thing. So